Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 22 and in sequence, hopefully it's question number 12 or 13. Number would maybe 12 or maybe 13. The chapter which we are related with is financial statement, where we are going to make profit loss statement as well as balance sheet statement. And as usual, you can see that we have two sides. Debit balances are present on left side, and you can see that credit balance is also present. It means this upper part is related to, or this upper part is trial balance. That would be little easier for us to solve our question. And you can see that there is a lower part where five different adjustments are given. So we have elements present in trial balance and adjustments are present at the same time. So basically this topic is related with adjustments in financial statement, and adjustments would be solved as our first step. What did I say? That these adjustment would be solved as first step. However, you can see that these adjustments are given after your trial balance. So please understand, we are not going to enter elements of trial balance in our statement. Rather, we will solve adjustment as our first step. And you can see that answers are also given beside the question, so it's little comfy. And you can see that our performa, where we are going to perform four different functions: 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is collectively called balance sheet. This left side is basically profit loss statement, where the upper part is for direct side, where gross profit or loss would be calculated over here. Lower part is indirect side, where net profit would be calculated. This above side is asset, and then liability, both would be equalized with each other. So I'm sure that this brief introduction would let you know what our target for today's lecture is. We are going to make profit loss statement as well as balance sheet. So we are ready to sort out and solve our question. Let's begin. As it was told that we will start from the adjustment. So first adjustment is staying stationary unused 31st March. Here you can see that our ending date is 31st March 2005 and same date ending is present over here. Please understand, stationery we used to write on expense side. Luckily plant and printing and stationery is present over here. So total stationery which was bought was 10,200, but out of this stationery 1800 it's not used. What third meaning we are taking for it? It means difference of these two amount has been used. So when you are using stationery, it would become your expense. We will go to operating expenses and then you will see stationery and unused stationery, because we are going to take the difference. Unused stationery would be subtracted, amount of which is mentioned 1800. Just put 1800 over here. Once again, why we are subtracting? Because total amount of stationery was this, but this was unused. It means different has been used, which would become your expense, and this unused stationery at the end of period would be considered as your assets. So unused stationery you will mention over here, and this would be your current asset. Guys, in this way our first adjustment has been completed. Now we will see our second adjustment, which is saying closing stock. For closing stock, you will start over here. First you will mention opening stock, then you will add purchases, then you will subtract return. If question includes it, then you will subtract your closing stock. And we are talking about this closing stock 162,000. Amount would be written over here. And for second effect, you will write this closing stock over here, and this is 162000. Alright guys, so two adjustments are completed and we have seen each adjustment does have two effects and we are doing it. The third adjustment is very interesting and you need to be focused. Write-off bad debt as usual, it's old, but here the word increase in bad debts and secondly by is using. Please note it down, increase provision for bad debts and then by. This combination is vital for you. Whenever it is, we will change our procedure as we have done in previous question. So we'll go to operating expenses and here only new reserve for bad debts would be written. Normally, four elements are part of bad debt adjustment in indirect side. First bad debts, then additional bad debts, then we add new reserve, then subtract old reserve. But instead of that, only one item of new reserve would be written over here. For that, let's start our working over here. First, you will see sundry debtors. Then you will be having new provision and then old provision, then only bad debts if they are present. So what you will do, new reserve and old reserve would be added and bad debts would be subtracted. Final answer would be subtracted from the debtors. So here we are going to start our adjustment. Write-off 3000, increase provision by 5%. First we will see this provision is upon account receivable. Account receivable are present over here 141,000. Just mention 141,000. And now we are going to calculate our new provision. For that you will have to give attention. We also have 3000 as additional bad debts. So what you will do, first you will take 141,000 and then okay, you need to calculate 5%. If we may calculate 5% at start or we may calculate 5% at the end. So we are going to calculate at the end. So first 140,000, then you will subtract your additional bad debts which is given in your question 3000 and then you will take 5%. So multiply by 5 divided by 100. Once again, please be attentive. 141,000 in G53 cell. So just consider 141,000 is written over here. First you will subtract your additional bad debts and 5% would be calculated on remaining amount. This way your new reserve would be calculated and if there is any old provision we will write it later on, but our problem has been sorted out. We were in need to have new provision. So this new provision which we have recently calculated 6900 would be part of indirect side as well. I am requesting you to please revise and repeat this procedure how we had calculated this 6900. Please, I'm requesting you to rewind this lecture for 3-4 minutes and see it again how we have calculated 6900. Alright guys, in this way we have completed third adjustment. Now fourth adjustment is depreciation on machinery. So here you will be mentioning depreciation machine. We do have little small space. Two elements are needed. First we will see how much amount of machinery is, that is 168,000 and 5% is rate. So here 168,000 and you will be multiplying by 5 and divided by 100 to get your depreciation. How? 168 was amount of plant, you have multiplied 5 and taken 5%. So first depreciation is completed. We'll go to fixed asset side and here you will mention plant and machine, amount of which was 168,000 Look, machinery 168,000. And secondly, you will subtract depreciation, but I just realized that it's not plant and machinery, it's just machine. So remaining amount we can remove, less depreciation, and this depreciation was just calculated 8400. Write down, and you need to subtract, which we will do later on. You can see that there are two parts of this adjustment. Second is furniture depreciation. Again, you will be writing in same way, depreciation upon furniture. For that we need amount of furniture, which is 60,000. Secondly, 10%. So here 60,000, and you will take 10%. In this way, depreciation of furniture would be calculated. How? Amount of furniture was 60,000 and you will multiply it with 10 divided by 100. 6,000 is your depreciation, and for second effect you will go to fixed asset side. There you will write furniture and you will subtract its depreciation. Amount of furniture was, we have just seen, it is 60,000, and depreciation which we have just calculated is 6,000. I will show. Look at here. I'm sure that these adjustments which we are writing over here would definitely be very much helpful for you. In this way, fourth adjustment is completed. Now fifth adjustment. Look at here. On 28th February, that means within our accounting year, fire broke and destroyed the stock of 60,000. It means stock has been lost. And you do know the entry, loss by fire to purchase. It means purchase would be decreased. So here instead of return, because I think in question returns are not present, you will mention loss of stock by fire. When there is a fire, it means our stock would be decreased, and the entry which we would make would be loss by fire to purchase. It means we will understand indirectly that if there is a fire and there is a stock, that stock was never been purchased. So it's accounting treatment. When there is a loss by fire, that would be subtracted from purchase. How much loss we can see that it's 60,000. Just put 60,000 over here. Secondly, this loss would be our operating loss. That is why we will be presenting it in operating expense side as well. Loss by fire. Okay guys, so after that we need dual effects. I am going to show it. One, you have subtracted from purchase. Secondly, you have written on indirect side. This way all 5 adjustments are completed. We are now ready to put step by step each element of this trial balance to our financial statement. So first is cash in hand. We will go to current asset side, and here we will be mentioning cash in hand, amount of which is 3,000. Put 3,000 in front of it. After cash in hand, we have cash at bank. So in similar place, we will write cash at bank, amount of which is 13200. Write down in front of cash at bank. Then we have bill receivable. Again, it's current asset. So you will be writing bill receivable, amount of which is 31800. Write down its amount. So step by step we are putting each and every element of this trial balance to financial statements. After bill receivable, furniture is already written. and you can see that furniture 60,000. After furniture we have machinery, and this is also already written. Machinery 168, you can see in fixed asset side. Then we have drawings. Drawing is part of your liability side, and here you will mention your capital in fixed liability side. Then you will be adding net profit afterwards, but since it's drawings, so these drawings would be subtracted, and amount of drawings mentioned over here, and it is 43200. So here 43200 amount of drawings we have written. After which stock, and since it's first date 1st April, it means it's a closing stock. 1st April 2004, so 1st April, it means opening stock. So you will come over here and will write opening stock, which is 123,000. And once again I'm telling you, this is 1st April starting date, so it's an opening stock. Purchases 408,000. 408,000. The space was already reserved for purchases. After purchases we have freight inward, which is your direct expense. Just mention freight inward, amount of which is 9,000. Put down the amount. And after freight we have account receivable already written, and this is 141,000. Account receivable or debtors, one of the same thing, but I am going to write account receivable so that you can understand from where we have taken this 141,000. Account receivable completed, and after account receivable we have printing. The space is fixed for printing. Here you will write amount of printing and stationery 10,200. Okay, all these amounts were supposed to be written in second column, these four amounts. So let's put them over here. Okay guys, so where we were supposed to write station 10,200, and you have mentioned over here. Then next is salaries 96,000. So here you will write salaries in operating expenses, amount of which is 96,000. Write down amount in front of it. After salaries we have factory rent, again direct expense. Here you will mention factory rent, amount of which is 24,000. Write down amount. Alright guys, you can see that this was last item present on left side. It has been completed. Now we will be focusing on right side. Insurance 7,200, and you will be going to operating expenses. Insurance amount is 7,200. Mention it. After insurance we do have office rent, again operating expenses, office rent, amount of which is 12,000. mention amount in front of office rent. After office rent we have productive wages, again direct expense. So you will write productive wages in direct expense side, amount of which is 129,000. Write down in front of it. Alright guys, we have now manufacturing, again direct expense. I think this is the first question where there are so many direct expenses. So manufacturing expenses, amount of which is 9,000. Manufacturing expenses 9,000. Alright guys, after manufacturing expenses we have trade expense, which is our operating expenses. Okay, so amount of trade expense 32,400. You will be writing over here. After trade expenses we are now going to start our credit balance. Sales will come over here. Now mention sales, but returns are not present, so directly you can write over third column. Amount of sale is 843,000. So you will be writing amount in front of sale. After that we have account payable, again liability. Current liability we will choose. Account payable, amount of which account payable 85800, 85800 account payable. Then we have provision for bad debt. This is old provision. So you will go over here. We have already a place old provision, the amount of which is 6,000. Just put 6,000 over here. After provision for bad debts, now we have bill payable. This is part of current liability side. So bills payable, and the amount is 25200. 25200 bill payable amount. Then we have capital is part of fixed liability. Place is already reserved, and amount is 360,000. Just put amount over here. This was, I think, the last item. Yes. What does that mean? All adjustments present over here, they have been entered with their dual or double effects. All elements present in trial balance have also been entered. It means we are now ready to start our calculation. For that, we will go to direct side. First thing first, we will be calculating first part of cost of goods sold statement, their opening stock, and then you will be adding purchase. You can start your bracket plus purchase, and then you will subtract this loss, and you will subtract your closing stock as well. So we have got our final amount. There are 4 direct expenses. We are going to take their sum. Direct expenses, okay. Final cost of goods sold, all direct expenses. When you will add it in cost of goods sold, we will get our final amount. Now let's calculate your gross profit. This was your amount of sale, subtract total amount of cost of goods sold. So we have 363,000. Let's check it out. Here you can see that your gross profit 363,000. It means first out of four parts have been sold. First out of four part has been sold. 363,000 is your gross profit. Let's get back to our lower part. We need to get final amount of stationery. 10,000 was total, 1800 unused, remaining amount is basically stationery used. So here we will take sum of all operating expenses. First part is completed. Now second part is operating income not present 0, other expenses not present 0, other income not present 0. Oh, so it means we do have only one sort of expense which is operating. So we can now start our calculation of net profit, where we need our gross profit, this one, look at here. Then you will subtract all of your operating expenses. For just practice I'm letting you know, then you need to add your operating income, you need to subtract other expense, you need to add your other income. In this way all calculations are completed. So we have got our net profit 125700. Let's check it out. Alright guys, you have seen that our net profit is 125700 given in the book, and our answer is exactly matched. So now we will go to the right side of our page where we will complete our balance sheet, and here you will write your net profit. The net profit you calculated 125700, mention over here, with which you can now calculate fixed liability side capital plus net profit less drawings, total amount of fixed liability. Okay, and there are two current liabilities present over here. So here there are no other fixed liabilities. It means sum of fixed liability is over here. There are two current liabilities. You will take their sum. So current liability side is also completed, after which no reserve is present, and here we have the sum 553500. Let's check it out, our answer, and here you can see balance sheet 553500. In this way our liability side, that means 3 out of 4 parts are solved, answer is matched. Now we will be focusing upon our asset side. First we will see our fixed asset side, amount of machine less its depreciation, and then amount of furniture less its depreciation. So what we have is our fixed asset, right? We are now ready to calculate its sum. There are only two amounts. So fixed asset calculated. Now we will be looking forward for our current assets. Here please understand what you will do. Sundry debtors minus bracket start and new provision, add old provision, or less bad debts, but bad debts are not present over here, and we have got final answer of debtors. Please note bad debts are not present, and the bad debts given in your adjustment, look, write off as bad debt. These are also bad debts, but these would be considered as additional further write off or new bad debts. But in our formula we were in need to have only bad debts. That means these were old bad debts, and these were supposed to be present in trial balance, but amount is not given, so final answer is present over here. Alright guys, there is no other adjustments left. We are now be calculating sum of all current assets. So here we got the sum of current asset, and now we will be choosing fixed assets were present over here 213. I think we need to look forward for this 154. Okay, 3000 was cash in hand and 13,200. Okay, look at this amount. We will check it out. Cash at bank, and amount of cash at bank was 13200, and here 10 was extra. Let's cut it out, and we have 553 500. This is your amount of asset, and look at here 553 500. In this way our asset side is also completed. So finally all four parts have been solved. There were this direct side, and you can see 363,000, and look at here your gross profit 363,000, and then we have net profit 125700, and here book answer 125700, and then balance sheet 553 500, 553 500, and here liability side is also 553 500. So guys, you have seen that with no extra effort, no editing, our answers are absolutely matched with our book. All four parts are completed. So now I am very humbly requesting, if you want to have better progressive marks, for that purpose you need to practice all of your chapter question for more than 3-4 times. At the end of each lecture I usually request the same. So requesting again, a humble request to please solve this question for 3-4 times, and after that practice. If you still feel anything difficult, you are very open to share your problem through messages, text or comments. I will humbly be trying my best to answer your question quickly. So thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.